Good morning to you on this Tuesday morning. I hope and pray that you are doing well and you've had a great week so far. Even though we're not too far along in this week, I hope it's going really, really well. And hopefully you're somewhere where it's cool. Definitely not cool here in Central Texas for the past several days and even today as well. But I pray that you are staying cool and that you are well and God's blessing you beyond what you can see. This past Sunday, we were talking about the heart of a servant. When you think about the heart of a servant is one who puts somebody else above themselves or puts the needs of somebody else above themselves. I used this quote Sunday. I'm going to change graphics on you here just a little bit. This is the slide that I was using Sunday. But I wanted to quote Dr. Stan Mitchell. He said this: of all the honorary terms used for the great men of faith in the Old Testament, the most solemn and the most impressive was the servant of the Lord. It was almost as if for the biblical writers that a higher compliment could not have been paid than to say that someone's life could be summed up in these words: the servant of the Lord. And of course, when we look at the Old Testament, we know that there were a few that carried this honorary title of the servant of the Lord. Moses, for one, in Deuteronomy 34 and verse 5. Joshua in Joshua chapter 24 and verse 29. Samuel was even described as a servant for the Lord. 1 Samuel 3 and verse 9. And then David, 2 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 18. And when we think about each of these men, we know that they were great leaders that the Lord had used, but the reason that they were great because they were servants of the Lord. They put God's will above themselves, and thus they wanted God's will to be done. But also, when we go to the New Testament, we even saw that with Jesus' own earthly mother and Mary in Luke chapter 1 and verse 38, when she is told that she would be pregnant and that she would give birth to Jesus. She said, she didn't argue, but she said, basically, let the Lord's will be done. I'm a servant of the Lord. And of course, we know with Jesus himself, in Matthew chapter 20, when he's talking to his disciples, he says that he came to this earth to serve and not to be served. And thus he is telling the disciples he expects the same thing for them, and he expects the same thing for us. So if we are truly to be a disciple of Christ, we have to have a heart of a servant. That means that we put other people's needs above ourselves. So I ask you this question: do you have the heart of a servant? Have you served anybody this week, this month, this year, in the past decade? If you're a Christian and you haven't served anybody lately, why not? Does that tell you that maybe something's wrong and that you need to be doing something a little bit different? Be the heart of a servant, be like Jesus, and be a disciple of his. I hope and pray that you have a great week. Remember, God loves you. I love you. And be a blessing to somebody. Serve somebody this week. God willing, we'll see you again next week. God bless.